What's up, everybody? I am not sure what's true or false in this video. This is a gossip video, just like on a gossip blog website. So I take rumor and tea and gossip from online, from magazines, from books, from wherever I can find it, and I ball it up and I tell you guys a story. Now, let's get to the video.
Hey guys, this is Ashley with Ashley Says So, and I am back with another Old Hollywood Scandals video. And yes, I know I skipped the member shout outs on Elvis. I'm gonna also skip it on this video, but don't worry, we will be back to it on the next video. And today we're gonna talk about the Mr. Soul Walking and the Mr. Soul Talking, Mr. Don Cornelius, honey, and Josh. Remember when I told you on that live, it was some tea I wanted to confirm before I put it out there? Actually, it wasn't even just Josh, it was a few of y'all. Well, baby, the gossip has got confirmed, and it came quicker than I thought it would. So, child, let's go and get into the video. Donald Cortez Cornelius was born on September the 27th, 1936 in Chicago, Illinois. His mother's name was Thelma Booth Cornelius, and she was a homemaker, and his father's name was Carter Cornelius, and he was a postal worker. By all accounts, Don's childhood seems normal, or at least I didn't find anything that jumped out at me, but I do know that after he graduated high school, he ended up joining the military. Now, Don may have been a young man when he left to join the military, but baby, when he came back, he was a grown man, honey, a military man, and he knew what he wanted. The first thing he wanted to do was reconnect with this pretty little thing that had caught his eye in high school. Actually, his high school sweetheart, per the gossip, Dolores Harrison. In fact, Don and Dolores did reconnect, and after spending some time together, they both decided that they could not live without each other. And so, per the gossip, they were married in 1956. Not long after that, Dolores found herself to be pregnant, and she gave birth to a son named Anthony, and Anthony was followed by another son named Raymond. Now, since Don is now the father of two, the rush is on, honey, for him to make some money. One thing about Don Cornelius, honey, that man was not afraid of work. He was not afraid of making some money. Baby, let the folks on the street tell it. They actually said that Don was a hustler. Child, Don sold tires, he sold cars, he sold insurance. But check this out. In the midst of doing all of that, the man also found time to be a police officer. Like I said, baby, y'all better ask about him. Ask about him. He was a hustler, baby. Now, while Don was on these streets hustling and clearly grinding for a better life, something was happening to his marriage. It was breaking down. And per the rumor on the streets, by the time 1965, 1966 hit, the marriage was in serious trouble. Now, I couldn't find the exact reason that Don and Dolores started arguing and things didn't work out, but there are two theories that have been put forward. One of them was the fact that in 1966, Don had wanted to quit his current day job. He wanted to go to school for 3 months to take this broadcasting course. Now, that is a theory because, of course, Don is a family man. So you have this man with two children and a wife just wanting to up and quit this job to kind of just jump into something and kind of chase a dream. And then if you believe some of the other rumors out here, Don only had $400 saved up in the bank. Now, that was a good amount of money, but still not enough for somebody to just want to quit a job. So that's the first theory. The second theory is that Dolores may have found out that behind closed doors, Don Cornelius was a monster. Child, some folks out here that think that Don Cornelius used to beat the daylights out of Dolores. And that theory is particularly harsh, but listen, that mess just ain't coming from out the sky, honey. There's reasons to believe that Donald was like this, but like I said, nevertheless, these are theories. We don't have any proof or any facts as to why this marriage broke down. Whatever the reason for the breakdown, it is said that the marriage was completely over and they divorced in the year of 1966. And so Don is now a single man with a lot of time on his hands, and things may have drastically changed in his life, but one thing remained the same. Don Cornelius was still holding on to the dream of going to broadcasting school. So he ended up quitting his job, and he did take that 3-month course. The year was still 1966, and baby, that 3-month course paid off quicker than Don could have ever imagined. Because almost as soon as he was finished, he was offered a job at Chicago radio station WVON. And it was while working at WVON that Don was able to get the practice that he needed to succeed in future endeavors with his journalism and broadcasting. And when I say he was able to get practice, I mean just that, because honey, they had that man doing everything. He was a radio announcer, he was a disc jockey, he was a reporter. Sorry, y'all, that part got cut. I don't know why, but he was a reporter too. So that is a whole lot of training, and thankfully Don took this as training. You know, instead of him being like, dang, y'all want me to do all this? This is just too much. He didn't do any of that. He took everything they handed to him, he worked on it, and he perfected his craft. And to be honest with you, it did not take much, honey, because see, Don Cornelius was really a natural. He really possessed a fabulous technique when it came to being a radio show host, when it came to being an announcer. He had this voice that was was steady and slow and smooth. His diction was boom, on point, baby. Child, I can only dream of having a diction like that. Ashley, it's pronounced song, not song. Baby, it's song. But anyways, enough about me. So Dunn's voice went over the airwaves very well, and he became very popular very quickly. In fact, he was so popular that when he came up with an idea to showcase the local teenage talent, all of the teenagers jumped on board. Everybody wanted to be a part of it. And what this was really at this time was like, it was almost like a tour. Like if how a concert, they go and have different concerts. That's what Dunn was doing, but he was doing it with local unknown talent. So he would take these local teenagers and he would take them to different schools, or maybe take them to different civic centers or community centers or things like that. Anywhere where they could really put on a show and showcase their talent. That's what it was. And he had pretty much like a traveling caravan of entertainment. And per the gossip, this was Don Cornelius's first baby steps into getting in the entertainment industry. So anyway, like I said, he was already popular with the local teenagers, but doing stuff like this really caused his local fame to grow. And pretty soon, all of the local people around town knew who Don Cornelius was. And as his caravan show got more popular, soon other broadcasting stations started to notice him. They started to look at this guy like, whoa, this guy is definitely not just a DJ. This guy has a business mind. This guy has a plan. Let's see where he's going with this. And soon Don started getting offers from other radio stations. But Don stayed the course and continued doing what he was doing. And then soon, honey, he got an offer that blew everything off the table. Because, baby, it wasn't no radio station that was interested. It was a TV station. And that's when Don Cornelius took the job with WCIU TV in 1967. And people don't really emphasize this about Don Cornelius, but that man was on freaking fire, baby. That is a huge step. How the heck do you go from just working a regular job to getting a broadcasting license after 3 months, getting a radio job, and now you are on TV within a year, pretty much? Because like I said, the broadcasting thing was in 1966. 1967, this man is offered a career on television. That is a huge leap that most people take years to do. Like, the man was on fire, like I said. So anyways, Don Cornelius is now on local television, and he is given a segment to host called A Black's View of the News. And here he just does exactly what the title says. You know what I mean? He talks about black people news, and he talks about things that are relevant to black people and black people's views on things and stuff like that. So basically, like I said, what the title was. And this was a great thing for him, but this was someone else's program. And Don Cornelius, who was a man of high aspirations and high dreams, wanted his own program. You know what I mean? Because here, he couldn't really move the way he wanted to. You know what I mean? He had to watch what he said, watch what he did, and, you know, watch how he dressed and all of this good stuff. Don wanted more freedom than that. He wanted to do his own thing. Also, why is he doing all of this work and making this program perfect and he's not the owner of it? Now, per the gossip, at this time, Don Cornelius is still doing the traveling caravan and the record hop thing and stuff like that. And he thinks about putting that on TV, but then he figures like that's not really a good idea. People all over the world don't really care about these talented teens here in Chicago, you know, and it might have gotten some views locally, but he was trying to think of a show that would become national, something that could grow to be shown all over the world. And so that just wasn't it. So he was just thinking and he was thinking and he was thinking. He was missing something, but what Don didn't know is the thing that would give him the missing piece to what he wanted was something that he had been doing every week. See, the word on the street is that Don Cornelius and his family used to go to church every Sunday, and then after church they would all go to his mother's house, you know, the matriarch. They would all go over there, they would all eat the Sunday dinner, and then after that they would retire to the basement where everybody would sit around, you know what I mean, chill, and then they would have dance parties. It is claimed every single Sunday this family did that. And it was while attending one of these Sunday basement dance functions that Don was just like, I got it. And that idea was to bring this dance party to television, to show the world how the young black teens and young black dancers got down and showed they stuff. And just like that, Don Cornelius started working on getting resources to put his show together. And as he is gathering his resources, he starts to think, yes, okay, this is good. I got the program and I'm thinking about the kids dancing, but wouldn't it be great to have the people that sing the song like a live act on stage and have the children dance around him? Yes, this is so great. This is so great. Yeah! But there was one problem. Don Cornelius ain't had no money to pay no professional group to come and sing with him. So that is when he put on his suit and tie and put on his professional voice, and he went and started asking for sponsors. And Don was so professional, and like I said, he got great diction and knew how to talk and everything. Baby, he secured those sponsors with no problem. Got a nice big sponsor too, honey. I'm talking about Sears Roebuck. And after he got those signatures from Sears Roebuck, Don knew exactly who he wanted to be on his first episode. Jerry Butler, the Shotlights, and the Emotions, honey. Yes, all three of those appeared on the first episode of Soul Train. And at that time, Soul Train was shot in black and white because it was still very low budget, you know what I mean? Because most of the money, I'm sure, went to the actual groups that came and sang, you know. So when it came to production, they afforded what they could. So like I said, it was black and white, but hey, folks got to see something they had never seen before. And also, I want to let you know that this was only on local television. This actually aired on the network that Don was already working for, the WCIU TV network. That's what it aired on. But that was all right, honey, because after the first couple of episodes, Soul Train proved to be a hit, baby. And within a couple of years, Don Cornelius owned a nationally syndicated TV show, honey. An amazing feat. This man had done it, and the world knew about Soul Train. Now let's get to the gossip and messy tea, baby. Now listen, this first rumor is kind of silly, but hey, it's still some tea. Baby, the folks say Don Cornelius was cheap as all get out, child. They said that man made all kind of money from those talented Soul Train dancers and didn't pay them folks 1 red cent. Child, they say he told them your payment is exposure and KFC. And yes, they said that is how Don Cornelius paid them. You know what I mean? They come in and they get something to eat from KFC, and baby, that was just about it. And honestly, I guess I would kind of be okay with that if they were first starting out, you know what I'm saying? Because when they're first starting out, nobody really has money like that. But as they went along, somebody somewhere should have been getting paid, doggone it. And then this is the part that kills it. This is where some of them got mad at, is because he would also take some of them to the side and be like, okay, this is the style I want you to wear, or this is what I want you to do your hair, or something like that. But you telling these folks to do this, but you're not giving them the money to do it. And so it's sad that a lot of those Soul Train dancers kind of like sold their own outfits or made their own outfits, and then even more than that, actually went to stealing outfits. Honey, they said all them folks out there doing them dips and kicks and all that mess. Child, they said if you look close, you probably see a price tag hanging out from their tail. Now let me tell y'all something a little more serious. It's a few rumors out here that say that Don Cornelius was ruthless behind the scenes, baby, and even said that sometimes he demanded a little more from them dancers than just dancing on the soul flow. And that's actually where that rumor stops. They just didn't say anything else, but it might coincide with another rumor. Now listen to this. There is some tea floating online that one of those old R&B groups that Don Cornelius had on Soul Train, well, they went on the show, and after the show was over, Don invited these people back to his house. And so they were all sitting around laughing and joking and having a good time, and everybody was doing coke, and we're going to talk about that more in a moment, but everybody in the house was supposedly doing coke. And so, you know, Don Cornelius is just chilling, but then after a while he says, ooh, you know, I'm tired, I'm worn out, guys, so I'm about to head upstairs. You know what I'm saying? I'll mess with y'all later. So he does go upstairs, but this R&B group are just still, you know, at his house chilling and doing the coke and just hanging out. So all of a sudden they hear, hey boys, y'all come upstairs for a minute, come up here, let me show y'all something. So they all looking like, you know, what is going on? But they do go up the stairs. Baby, when they got up them stairs, all of the hair stood up on their necks, honey, because they said they looked in their bedroom. Don Cornelius was laying on his side just like this, and baby had on a see-through negligee, girl. I mean, just crazy, girl. Child, the members of that R&B group said they were falling over each other, trying to get down the steps and run out of the house, honey. They said that they did not stop until they were in their car driving home. And then check this out. This is a rumor that was floating around about the singer O'Brien and Don Cornelius. And per the gossip, O'Brien was introduced to Don Cornelius while he was still very young. And he and Don Cornelius became like great friends. You know what I'm saying? Don Cornelius kind of took him under his wings. And it's actually said that it was Don Cornelius who took O'Brien to Capitol Records, where O'Brien was actually signed to Capitol Records. And not only was he signed, he released 4 albums on Capitol Records. And those albums did well. Some of them even charted on the Billboard. Well, baby, the word on the street is that after O'Brien had a little bit of success, that Don Cornelius wanted some payback. And it's claimed that O'Brien was a little upset about it, but he was just like, you know, golly, you know, I should have known he was going to want me to pay him some money. I should have known he was going to want something back. But to O'Brien's surprise, it wasn't money that Don wanted, baby. Baby, they say Don Cornelius wanted some payback from the down under, baby. And supposedly when O'Brien found this out, he was like, no, I'm not going to do that with you. And Don was like, oh, you gonna do it? And O'Brien was like, no, I'm not. So it's claimed that they kind of had this push and pull situation going on for a while, where Dunn kept trying to convince this guy to, mess around with him, and O'Brien just would not give in. So it's claimed that when Don Cornelius finally figured out that he was never going to get this young man into bed, that Don Cornelius started working against this young man. Said he started to punish O'Brien by basically messing up his industry contacts. Said Don Cornelius picked up the phone to call his contacts at Capitol and told them to pull promotion from O'Brien. And I think actually they even dropped O'Brien. And not only did Dunn do that at Capitol, it is claimed that he called a lot of people in the industry and basically got the industry to blackball O'Brien. And supposedly this young man's career suffered because nobody else would really work with him. But then, honey, listen to this. And this is one of the rumors where I got to say, what? Child, because I've never heard of nothing like this. But child, apparently there's some gossip out here that Don Cornelius had a relationship with a newscaster, a sportscaster or something named James Brown. I don't even know who that person is. I did look him up and find a picture, but I don't know who this guy is. But supposedly the rumor is that Don Cornelius and James Brown were in a relationship. They were boyfriend and boyfriend. But from the looks of it, to me, even though I don't even know that guy, when I did more reading, it really just looked like they were really good friends. That's what I saw. But like I said, the gossip is out there. And actually, since that rumor is so new to me, if any of you know any information about that, please put it in the comments, because I would certainly like to know, where did that even come about? Now, I have already touched on Don Cornelius and his drugs, and yes, that is a rumor out here that Don Cornelius was very, very heavily on drugs. It is claimed that he started with marijuana in the 1970s, but as it turned into the 1980s, it progressed to cocaine. And child, some folks got real messy out here, honey, and said that before it was all over with, Don Cornelius was even using crack in the late 80s, early 90s. But check this out. Not only is it said that he was doing cocaine, marijuana, and crack, but they also said he drank very heavily. And baby, it's some tea out here where somebody said that they know Don Cornelius drank because they said that when he got alcohol in his system, that's when he started acting very feminine and effeminate. That's when that side would come out. And they also said that that would have been okay if he wouldn't start being a mean queen. Basically saying that he would have an attitude and he would snap on you in a second, like his nerves would get real shot. And if you do one little thing, how you finna get it from Don Cornelius? But see, the thing about that rumor is that it's not only out that Don was a mean, effeminate man or a mean gay man. Baby, they say he was mean when he was being a straight man too, child. Gossip claims that that man could get downright cruel. And it's crazy because he seems so laid back and so whatever. But honey, they said he handled Soul Train with an iron fist. Anything that threatened his empire, Don wouldn't hesitate to smack it down and smack the person behind the threat, baby. You didn't play with him. Now, I talked to two people about this Soul Train thing. One person said that Don Cornelius had been nothing but nice to her. She said that, he was a nice man. He even tried to help her outside of Soul Train. But a second person said that Don Cornelius was not all that nice, but nobody ever really put stories out because they don't want to ruin his name. A lot of people are scared of the black community and really just American community because he was a legend. So, they don't want to actually tell what really happened behind the scenes as a dancer. But like I said, apparently Don had tried it with a few of his dancers, and Rosie Perez was one of them. But Rosie said she flipped out, honey. She said he touched her, pulled her, and kind of yanked her inappropriately, and she said she flipped out. She said she started hitting him, and she said she started picking stuff up and throwing it, and baby, she said one of the things she picked up was a KFC box, baby, and she was just throwing it and going off on him. Now, although she said that the yank or pull or touch was inappropriate, she did not go into detail about where he touched her. She just said inappropriate, but whatever it was enough to make her want to fight that man. And Rosie actually said this in an interview. So to my knowledge, she is one of the only Soul Train dancers to come out publicly to say anything against Don Cornelius, because like I said, or like I was told, people just don't want to say anything about him. Now, since we are talking about Don Cornelius being ruthless, baby, we have finally got down to the nitty gritty. We are now down to that gossip that I have been holding all this time because I wanted to wait until it can be confirmed. And I actually thought I was gonna have to wait like another month, but baby, it's here. So let's get to it. And honey, put some lemon in your teacup, baby, because this show ain't no regular tea. So toward the mid to late 70s, early 80s, when Don Cornelius was like Mr. Soul Train, Mr. Big Name, he used to always go to the Playboy Mansion. And I'm talking about always, honey. The man had a VIP card. He was always there looking for bunnies, like every week or every other week. So anyway, per the rumor, when he would come to the Playboy Mansion, there would be a lot of group sex going on and things like that, but Don was said to never participate in anything like that. He would just take the bunny or bunnies that he wanted, and he would go to a room off by himself. Well, when he would get these girls to the room, he would start being very demanding demanding, but these girls were used to stuff like that. That's what men who wanted to be in power and control, that's what they did. So that wasn't really a big deal. But baby, one day Don Cornelius got to acting crazy, girl. So he comes to the Playboy Mansion and he sees two new girls. These girls had just got there, so they were fresh. So he wanted the fresh new girls because he had pretty much everybody else. So he takes these girls to the side and he talks to them for a minute. And the next thing anybody knows, they are leaving, getting in the car with Don Cornelius. So when they get there, they start to do sexual things to him. And Don Cornelius is being demanding like he usually is. But soon he starts kind of like overdoing it. And he starts getting rougher and rougher. And his demands are getting worse and worse. Like he starts treating them really like they're his slaves and he's some kind of powerful master. And then if they disobey and don't do what he asks, then there's like a sort of punishment that comes along with it. Well, baby, next thing you know, Don takes the hand of one of these girls, takes her to a room and ties her up. And she thinks that this is all still sex play, but after he ties her up, he turns around, walks out of the room and locks the door. Then he takes the other girl that's sitting there waiting and does the exact same thing to her. Baby, those girls thought he was playing a sex game. No, honey. Once Don Cornelius had those girls tied up, baby, gossip says he starts to brutalized those girls, honey. Said at least one of them he raped multiple times, and then on top of that started to stick things inside of her. Not only inside of her front stuff, stuck it in her behind too. Said he was sticking bottles and wooden objects and all kind of stuff inside that girl child. Said that she was just a screaming, and the other one in the other room said she could hear that one screaming and pleading like stop, stop. Said Don wouldn't stop and was also threatening her to shut her mouth. Honey, per the word on the street, he was slapping this girl around in everything. And not only her, it said that he was slapping that other girl around in the other room too. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he only like raped and brutalized one of them. And it was like he wanted to possess these girls, wanted to own these girls. And it's also like he wanted to feel some kind of power to make them scared of him, because it's also claimed that he pulled out a gun on them and threatened to kill these girls. And honey, this just wasn't no one night thing, baby. It's claimed that this torture lasted for 3 days, baby, until one of the girls was able to break free from her bondages. And when she did, she hurried up and rushed to the phone and she called Jane. She called for help, and someone who was a part of the cleanup crew of the Playboy Mansion came to collect the girls and bring them back to the mansion. And that cleanup crew is something that we will talk about more in the Hugh Hefner video. But supposedly Hugh Hefner had a cleanup crew where pretty much everything would be hushed up. You didn't call the police, you called the cleanup crew, and the cleanup crew basically kept the house out of scandal. So because of this, that incident was never reported to the police, but this is something that Don Cornelius did, or per gossip that he did. And so are y'all as shocked about that as I was? Because baby, yes, I have been very shocked about that. But let me tell you what's even more shocking than this. Don Cornelius did not feel wrong in anything that he did. He did not feel wrong, embarrassed, or anything like that. I know this because it is claimed that he came back to the Playboy Mansion after that. Probably not even a week later, baby. He was back at their doors. So he felt like these women were expendable and he can pretty much do anything to them. And it really seems like to me that something really was wrong with Don Cornelius on the inside, and he would take out his anger on women that he felt like nobody cared about, you know what I mean? Or women that he felt like was less than. And just crazy. And that rumor right there kind of leads credence to the belief that Don Cornelius must have beat on his wife. Like I said, we don't know that for a fact, but hearing that rumor, if that rumor is true about the Playboy Mansion, I could see where Don Cornelius would be abusive towards his wife. And there was also an interview that Don's son, Anthony, did that kind of made me look at Don Cornelius kind of sideways. And this is when that show, American Soul, which is loosely based on Don Cornelius, this is when that show was coming out. And basically, to sum up what Anthony said, he just said that, I talked to my mother, had long conversations with her, and I was trying to get her blessing so I could show some of the things that happened between her and my dad. And it wasn't really that statement that got me thinking, it was the statement that he made after that. And what that statement that he said was, I think in the end, there was a method to my dad's madness. And for some reason, that statement kind of rubs me and makes me feel like he's saying that Don Cornelius did some things, you know what I'm saying? Did some bad things. Now, like I said, that's just my perception, you know what I mean? It really just could be a statement about Soul Train, or, I don't know. But it just seems like because he said that sentence following the stuff with the mom and dad, it seems like those two tie together, and he's saying that his daddy did some bad things, but maybe it was a reason for it. So I don't know, like I said, that's just my perception. But if Don Cornelius did beat on Miss Dolores, she would not be the only woman that he beat on, because it is claimed that he beat on his second wife, Victoria, and he married her in 2001. And in 2008, the police were called to their home because allegedly Don Cornelius had bust Victoria upside her head and also had pulled a gun out on her. But listen at this though, when the police pulled up, it was Don Cornelius that was sitting outside in a robe crying, and that's because he said that Victoria had actually busted him upside the head. And he also said that she sprayed him in the face with pepper spray. But in the end, I know that Don Cornelius ended up going to court about the issue, and he pled not guilty, and then he was ordered to stay away from his wife. In fact, she put 2 restraining orders on him. And then after that, he went back to court and he pled no contest. And speaking on his wife, Victoria, it is claimed that soon after Don married her, I guess he regretted it because he started to see her in a different light, and he started to feel like she was only with him for his money. Oh, and let me slip this little rumor in here because I don't even know where this even comes from, but for some reason, it's at least one person out in this world that believes that Don Cornelius had an affair with Susan DePass. Do y'all know anything about that? Why is that out there? But anyway, to get back to the story, regardless of what was happening in Don Cornelius's personal life, his career with Soul Train was thriving. And Don was fiercely protective of his show. He even stood tall when Dick Clark sat up there and tried to do some mess, talking about he was coming up with Soul Unlimited. And then actually went to the ABC, to the higher ups, to tell them he wanted to start a show called Soul Unlimited, where he was gonna have black folks dancing around in black acts, pretty much trying to take Soul Train off the map. Thank goodness that when a lot of upper class black people, black leaders, and just other big powerful black people heard about this, they said no, this was not gonna happen. And one of those people was Clarence Avant. And Clarence Avant said Dick Clark had the audacity to even call him and say, hey, I want you to endorse this show. Hey, I want you to give me the green light to go for this show. Clarence Avant said he freaked out and told Dick Clark, no, I'm not endorsing crap. If you bring out your show, that is a power move, and that will move Don Cornelius off of the map. No, I'm not signing off on that crap. No, you're not about to do this power move. And he said he told Dick Clark and ABC that black people have to have something to call their own, and Soul Train is ours. It feels like ours, it's by us, and no, I am not gonna sign off for you to try to sit up there and wipe the show off the map. And since Clarence Avant and Jesse Jackson and other big powerful black men stood up for Don Cornelius, Soul Unlimited was just scrapped. Now the shutdown of Dick Clark proved to be a great move for Don Cornelius and Soul Train. It allowed Soul Train to grow and thrive for many years. But then things slowly started to go left. Like when the 1980s came around, other big time networks started to open their doors to black talent as well as black entertainment. As a matter of fact, the year 1980, black entertainment television came around, BET. And this was a whole channel, a whole network dedicated to black people. So it definitely took some of the chops off of Soul Train. And with all of these new things, and especially music videos for black people becoming more of the thing to do, having bigger budgets and people putting together all of these fantastic music videos, like it just kind of took the focus off of Soul Train. People would much rather watch a video countdown on BET than sit here and watch people dance on Soul Train. So that was like the new it thing, and all of a sudden Soul Train seemed old and Don Cornelius seemed even older. You know what I'm saying? It looked like their host was kind of old and out of touch, and you know, times just started to change. Now, when the 2000s came around, Soul Train did try to revamp with a younger host like Shamar Moore, and I think somebody else had took over. It tried to revamp, but it was really just kind of too late, and it just really was not getting the views like it was at first. But throughout all of this, Don Cornelius could still find consolation in the fact that he had created Soul Train. He had created a phenomenon that was his baby, and he owned Soul Train. So no matter what, you know what I'm saying, that was still his treasure. Well, on the other side of that, per gossip, Don Cornelius had done a lot of bad business deals and had made a lot of bad business decisions. And it is also claimed that he spent a whole lot of money. So sooner or later, Don Cornelius found himself floundering. And it's said that he had a lot of debt. Way too much debt for Soul Train not to really be bringing in any money anymore. And so because of that, it is claimed that in 2008, Don Cornelius made the decision to sell Soul Train. But he only did this to survive his debts. And so because that was the only reason, it is claimed that Don Cornelius was very hurt to have to sell his baby. You know what I mean? And it's claimed that he kind of just like went into a depression, and also like he was mad, child. They said that after he sold Soul Train, like Don Cornelius wouldn't come back for any award shows, wouldn't do any of that. Like he was kind of mad that, you know, he didn't own it anymore. And now that I think about that, that makes a lot of sense, because if he sold Soul Train in 2008, that is the same time that it said he beat on his second wife in 2008. So maybe it was because he sold Soul Train that, you know, he was so upset and mad at everybody. But like I said, per the gossip, Don Cornelius was very bitter after 2008. Not only was he bitter, he kind of hid in the shadows and almost became a recluse. And he also was dealing with the fact that he had severe pain all the time, and he also was having seizures. As a matter of fact, it's claimed that his seizures started in the year of 1982, and that is when he underwent a 21-hour operation to correct some deformities in his cerebral arteries. So this is what Don Cornelius was dealing with. He was dealing with his grief, he was dealing with his depression, and he was dealing with severe, constant pain. He was dealing with these seizures, and it kind of started seeming like the walls were closing in on him. And it is claimed that his son Anthony did an interview, and he said that his father, just couldn't take this pain. It was just like a lot on him. And so unfortunately, the future looked bleak to Don Cornelius. He just couldn't see any way that his life would turn around or his life would get any better, especially at the age he was at. So because his life was like this and he felt this way, on February the 1st, 2012, he took a gun and he put it to his head and he pulled the trigger. And Don Cornelius was now dead of suicide. He was 75 years old. So guys, this is the end of the Don Cornelius episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry that it took so long, but like I said, I had to get some stuff confirmed, honey. Had to get the gusto. But anyways, love you guys so much. Go ahead and like and subscribe to this video. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye.